And now I am very thrilled to introduce to you Seth Rogen, who's going to be joining Mayim and me for our next round of games. Seth Rogen, as you all know, is an actor, comedian, writer, producer, and director who has been in and written and directed so many films over the last 20 years that I can't even name them all right now, from Donnie Darko and the 40-Year-Old Virgin to Knocked Up and Funny People and Steve Jobs and Superbad and This Is the End and The Interview, etc., etc., etc. Basically, all the movies that you have to quickly turn off when Levi walks into the room. So not only that, Seth is a person who has used and continues to use his giant platform for good in the world, speaking out for what he believes in. If you haven't seen his Twitter feed over the past couple of weeks, it's worth checking it out. Testifying before Congress, working with his amazing wife, Lauren Miller, to raise money to fight for a cure to Alzheimer's. And you can occasionally hear Seth Rogen's giant laugh on the sermon audio track from IKAR events. So we are so happy to be joined tonight by Seth Rogen. Welcome.
Well,
are you here, Seth?
Hello. Hey, there you go.
Thank you for being here. Thank you, Seth. Hi.
Hi, how's it going?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. I'm so glad that you're here. So as you know, the three of us, you and Mayim and I, are going to we're going to do a little game ourselves called Two Truths and a Lie. I realize I may have over-prepared a little bit for this, but you guys are pros, so I felt like I had to do my own homework. And what we've got for you folks here is we have several categories, I think 5 categories, in which each of us will give 2 truths and a lie. And the others are going to have to decide what's true and what's the lie. So are we ready to start, Mayim and Seth?
I'm ready. I'm excited. I was just taking pictures of me and Seth because I've never met.
Oh, you guys should know each other. Yeah,
we all know each other. Yeah.
We all know each other. All Jews do.
Don't you remember from Sinai? Okay,
Yeah, exactly.
So for example, I meant Sinai the mountain. Okay,
I got it.
So here we go. The first round is going to be these are bar or bat mitzvah stories. And Mayim, do you want to go first for this one?
I will go first. Okay, so just to be clear, I have written here my 2 truths and a lie, and I'm just supposed to I'll say one. Okay, fine. Or say all 3.
All 3, and then Seth and
I think all 3,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? I like games. Okay. Number 1. My bat mitzvah featured goldfish on every table and submarine sandwiches because the theme was water, like my name. That's number 1. My bat mitzvah featured goldfish on every table and submarine sandwiches because the theme was water, like my name. Number 2, Bette Midler sang at my bat mitzvah party. Number 3, my bat mitzvah was the first time my Orthodox grandparents had ever heard a woman chant from the Torah. So you have water theme, you have Bette Midler, which if you know anything about me, I was in a movie called Beaches, which came out the week of my bat mitzvah.
Well,
that's why I mentioned Bette Midler. Otherwise, it would be a very
so
strange.
It adds, yeah. It's like if
I'm
I
trying to
no, it wasn't true.
Yeah. So
you have an in, yeah. Okay. That really throws. I was going to instantly dispel that one.
Me too.
Well, hey.
Yeah. It made me maybe think the third one is the lie, maybe.
Okay, Rabbi Sharon.
I'm still thinking the second one is either a lie or an exaggeration.
Oh, what? Did you accuse me of exaggerating? Oh
Casually, that's almost worse than a lie.
Wow. Okay, the lie, Bette Midler did not sing at my bat mitzvah party. We had no musical guest. So yes, goldfish on the table, submarine sandwiches, because the theme was water. My grandparents had never heard a woman chant. And no, Bette Midler did not sing. My brother DJ'd, and there was a whole thing about it being Shabbos, and my grandparents were mad. Anyway, that was my 2 truths and a lie about my bat mitzvah.
Did Bette Midler wish you a happy bat mitzvah at some point?
They didn't pose for pictures, and they rarely smiled. So
Perfect.
Okay, Seth, you want to take the second? Do you want to go now?
Okay, I'll go. Mine are, I have, they're shorter, but it's genuinely, I ramp up throughout the game. Don't worry. Okay. I had a line dancing themed bar mitzvah is one. I got drunk and threw up at my bar mitzvah is another one. And I was the first person in my grade to have a bar mitzvah.
If I knew when Seth Rogen's birthday was, I could probably figure out if that was accurate.
So that's it. Those are the two true. Two of those are true and one is a lie. I had a line dancing themed bar mitzvah. I got drunk and threw up at my bar mitzvah, and I was the first person in my grade to have a bar mitzvah.
You're Canadian, correct?
I'm a Canadian person, yes.
They have line dancing there? I guess that's the question.
That's up to you to decipher.
Guessing that the line dancing theme is just the one that's not true. I bet there was line dancing there, but as a formal theme, I've never heard of such a thing.
Oh, I want that to be true so badly. But since my children are here, I would like it to be not true that you got drunk and threw up at your bar mitzvah.
No, I did not get drunk and throw. The other two, that is the lie. I did not. I did have a line dancing themed bar mitzvah, which for the life of me, you're right, was hard to pull off. We had a line dancing instructor. Cowboy hats were given out. My mother wore boots. I would also like to say I have zero affinity for line dancing or Western culture in any way, shape, or form. So I don't know how it wound up that for the life of me. And I was the first person in my year. My birthday's in April. I was the first one to have a bar mitzvah only because it was much cheaper if I had it way unseasonably early. So even I was technically 12 years old when I had my bar mitzvah.
Wow.
But what's more Jewish than having a bar mitzvah?
Than having a bar mitzvah early so your parents could save money.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, Rabbi Sharon, what are your two truths and a lie about your
Number
mitzvah?
one, deep into the bat mitzvah circuit, I show up at Justine Lowe's costume party, which was going to be epic, wearing this cute cat girl costume, black tights, black boots, black dolphin shorts, little kitty ears, only to discover as soon as my parents pull away their car that it was not actually a costume party. Number two, at my oldest daughter's bat mitzvah a few years ago, we were a little worried my dad would leave my mom for the hired dancer Tangerine, who happens to be awesome, but I'm relieved that it didn't work out between her and my dad. Okay, number three, we were 19 years old, sophomore year of college. I go home with David to Philly for his sister Rachel's bat mitzvah. And the last Light Family Simcha was his other sister's wedding, which was a year earlier, to which David brought his super hot high school girlfriend as his date. So this was kind of a big deal. And it was the weekend where I saw David in his maroon striped tallis, the big professional Jew kind, which made me realize that I was in love with him. And I also got to experience Shabbat that weekend with what would be my family. But hands down, the highlight of the weekend was when one of David's creepy uncles approached him at the luncheon and said, and I quote, "Wait, you traded in that leggy supermodel for this schlub?" So costume, hired dancer, and the schlub.
Well, hers are long. Beth, yours were short. Hers are long.
Exactly. It all equals out in the end. I gotta say that I have a hard time believing the schlub one is real.
Oh, I want that to be real. I think that's real.
You are many things, but not a schlub.
Wait, what was the first one? What was the first one?
The costume party.
I think that was true too. I'm going with the Tangerine. Number two was not true.
Actually, the costume party is a lie. Tangerine is true.
Oh.
Find her. And the schlub, that actually happened.
There you go. Perfect.
Okay, Jewish summer camp. This is round two.
Okay. Should I go again first?
Why don't we switch up the order? Seth, you want to lead us off with this one?
Sure. One time at Jewish summer camp, we got lost in the woods for 2 days and had to be rescued by the RCMP, which is the Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Okay.
One time at summer camp, we slept at a lake that was infected with beaver fever, which is like a light form of dysentery, and we all got sick and had to end the camp trip early. And one time at camp, we were canoeing, and I flipped my canoe and had to be rescued by the lifeguards at the lake.
Those all happened. I'm sure of it.
What is one of them didn't. So rescued by RCMP after 2 days, beaver fever lake, flipped canoe lifeguards.
Dysentery.
I'm going to go with flipped canoe sounds too banal.
That's the one that is not true, the flipped canoe.
Right.
And my summer camp did not have a lake, so that is why. But the other two are true.
Wow. Okay, here's mine, and then Mayim. Okay, so my all-girls 8-week summer camp wasn't technically officially Jewish, but every Friday night we would eat challah bread, coincidence, and the camp director would read the Velveteen Rabbit to us, and then we would all try to figure out who had snuck out that week with Jim, the super hot tennis instructor. Okay, this is number 2. I took mine are a little long again. Sorry, Rabbi. Okay, during the final event of Color War at my all-girls 8-week summer camp that wasn't technically officially Jewish, after an intensive week-long competition, I stepped up to the pool table for the billiards competition, which would award 400 points to the winning team. We were solids, and we had a solid lead. There were 6 stripes and only 2 solids left on the table. With the entire camp watching and cheering, I held my breath. With laser focus, I struck and sunk my target ball. Face flushed and full of pride, I looked over as everyone gasped, and Jennifer Katz broke into tears. I thought they were happy tears until she shouted, "Not the 8-ball, you idiot, but we're solids," I said. Lesson learned. Okay? That's true. Not even a charity laugh, Seth? It's a charity.
I was muted. I accidentally muted myself. They had to unmute me. It was fixed. Don't worry.
Don't mute yourself for the last.
Exactly, I know.
At the height of Night Riders fame, David Hasselhoff surprise visited our camp. After half an hour, I gathered up the courage to approach him just in case things didn't work out with Brian Adams, who I was in love with. And as I sidled up to him at the salad bar, his cologne was so overwhelming that I sneezed a big, ugly sneeze on his left arm. Jewish camp with challah bread, Color War, Hasselhoff.
Ooh.
Hers are so long, like certain things might be true. Like maybe it was his right arm. We're going to get all the way through that.
Exactly. I'm going with the Hasselhoff one. It's not true. I hope it is. Again, great if it is, but I'm that's the one I think.
I'm gonna go with challah bread.
No, challah bread's totally true, as is Color War, unfortunately. Hasselhoff is the lie.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Knew it.
All right, my turn. Summer camp. I only went once. I went to Camp Swig. One horrible, tragic week. Number 1, I peed in my sleeping bag every night, not intentionally. Number 2, I cried so hard every night that the counselors had to remove me from the cabin so the other campers could fall asleep without my wailing disturbing them. Number 3, I did not shower the entire week as a protest. So peed every night in my sleeping bag, cried so hard I had to be removed, did not shower the entire week.
Ooh, I'm going to say...
This was just last year also.
Yeah, exactly.
More awkward.
I'm going to say the peeing in the sleeping bag is a lie.
Rabbi Sharon?
And I would think you wouldn't say the peeing thing if it weren't true. So I'm going to 3.
I did pee in my sleeping bag every night.
Oof.
I did cry that hard every night that other campers couldn't go to sleep. And I showered once that week because I was forced for Shabbos.
And you've been peeing you've been sleeping in a pea-soaked sleeping bag every night.
I sleep in the pish sleeping bag, bag.
I would hope you showered eventually.
All right.
So the next round is Jewish holidays, and should we keep? We're gonna keep going. Okay.
My Jewish holidays is like family craziness. I think I collapsed them. Just letting you know.
Family craziness. Okay, we've got Jewish holidays, we have Jewish weddings, and then we have anti-Semitism. So we're good. And then
correct. I collapsed holidays with family.
Oh, okay. We'll do Jewish holidays. Ready?
Okay.
Shabbat B'Tammuz is only a week or 2 away, and it happens to be my favorite minor fast day. No Mayim, not Ta'anit Esther. That would be too predictable. Shabbat B'Tammuz marks the death of a Jewish general in Second Temple times who was killed by other Jews, and it reminds us of the danger of sinat chinam, senseless hatred, a lesson I really try to take to heart every time I rudely get cut off at LAX on the El Al security line. Okay, Seth, so number 2, Seth is from Canada. So a couple years ago, David and I took a trip to Montreal. We arrived at our hotel, which we chose because it had an amazing plant-based restaurant in it, only moments before Shabbat came in. But we were told at check-in that unfortunately the restaurant was going to be closed the entire next day, Shabbat. It was too late for us to go out and buy food, and we don't spend money on Shabbat, so we basically fasted the entire day, walking around old Montreal like hungry puppies, laser focused on our 9 p.m. reservation at the best vegan place in the city. And then as the sun set, I put on my nicest dress and high heels, and we walked to the restaurant so that we would be there the minute Shabbos ended. We walked in just as 3 stars appear. I turn on my phone to read a text from Melissa that says, "Happy Tisha B'Av." Damn it, I thought. the saddest day of the year is tomorrow night, not tonight. Grief and lamentations. And have I mentioned that we fasted already an entire day? And it's date night. So what difference would it really make? Nobody knows me in Canada. But of course, we went back to the hotel, put on our tennis shoes, and took a cab to the conservative synagogue to hear Eicha being read. Okay, that was my longest one. I promise the rest are shorter. That's number one. That's number two.
That was number one?
That's our Tammuz, minor fast day. Number two is Tisha B'Av.
I didn't know we needed to give you a character limit.
Exactly.
Okay, this happens every Shabbos too. I can't stop once I start. Okay, number three is junior year abroad. David and I, we take a break from our learning in Jerusalem and we're traveling around Europe. We rent bikes in Bruges and we see this family wearing kippot and carrying lulav and etrog, and we start bageling them. We say, Shalom achi, achi. And they call us over and they're like, wait, who are you? What, do you speak Hebrew? Why are you here? And they invite us over for dinner in their sukkah. There's no punchline. It was just one of the most beautiful evenings of my life. And it gave me a sense of peoplehood.
That makes it hard.
What do you think?
It'd be weird if that one was the lie, I'll say. But I'm going to say maybe the first one. I'm going first one, lie.
First one's a lie.
First one's, yeah, it's just a lie. That's not what Shiva Tammuz is about.
Exactly, and I knew that. That's why I called
you were trying to Tzom Gedalia. You were trying to trick me with Tzom Gedalia. Always with the Tzom Gedalia. Okay.
All right, holidays.
Okay, I'll go. Again, all of these things likely happened at a holiday, but let's see. Let's just call them holiday adjacent. One of my parents' favorite things to call me was Katzenkup, which means head like a cat, when they were mad at me as a child. When my mother decided to stop having our home be kosher, she sent a letter to all of our religious family announcing it. And the third is my Polish bubby was an amazing cook. Those are the three. My parents called me cat head when they were upset at me. That's Yiddish for head like a cat. My mother announced to our religious family that she was done being kosher by sending a letter, and my Polish bubby was an amazing cook.
I'm going to say, if your Polish bubby was anything like my Polish bubby, she was not an amazing cook. So I'm going to say that one is a lie.
Rabbi Sharon?
I'm going with three.
Yeah, so my Polish grandmother, quote, never used a spice in my life. It was my Hungarian grandmother, which was the amazing cook. Yeah. Very good, Seth and Sharon. Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
You didn't learn to season well during the Depression, I think is what.
Unless you were Hungarian.
Exactly. Okay, mine are three holiday ones. These are one to. My parents told me that Jews did not celebrate Canadian Thanksgiving, so I never celebrated that as growing up. My dad once built a sukkah using only old hockey sticks that were given to us by the JCC. And most of the time, my parents would forget about Hanukkah around halfway through, so usually Hanukkah was like 5 or 6 days in our household.
Number two, sukkah out of hockey sticks.
That's right. You can't build a sukkah entirely out of hockey
sticks. That is the lie. Yes.
You guys are modeling also really well how to do this in a concise and pithy way, which I'm
we'll talk later about how to do this in a lie.
But it was a theme in my life. Whenever my parents didn't want me to do something, they said Jews didn't do that. And I would later realize it was just stuff they didn't want to do.
It was just something they.
Yeah. They didn't say the American Jews do that.
Exactly. They didn't get that specific.
Okay, we have two more short sections here. We have Jewish weddings, and then we have anti-Semitism, like real tweets.
Do you want to end with anti-Semitism, or is that up next?
I think it's kind of a pick-me-up. What do you guys think?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's end with that. Okay, Jewish weddings. Who's first this round? I lost track.
Me? Okay. Jewish, well, the only wedding I had was a Jewish one. Number one, I wore Doc Martens to my wedding reception. Number two, I did not observe the traditional rules of not seeing the groom for the week before the wedding. Number three, awkward. Children, cover your ears. I calculated my birth control around my wedding date in accordance with Jewish law. Your choices are Doc Martens, did not observe traditional rules of not seeing the groom for 7 days, calculated birth control around the wedding date.
You definitely didn't see your partner before the chuppah. You were so
Seth, how much did you Google me before? Let's see.
Yeah, I'm going with I agree. I agree with Sharon.
That's right. We did not see the groom for 7 days before the wedding. Possibly the best 7 days of our marriage.
Exactly. Okay, I will go. I should say Sharon officiated my wedding, so she has inside information as to what my wedding was like. Okay. My wedding had a video game arcade. That is one. I gave out cannabis to everyone in the welcome packages of my wedding, and Edward Norton threw up at my wedding. 2 truths and a lie.
What was the first one?
The first one was my wedding had an arcade.
My children's ears are still plugged. It's
exactly. It's legal now. It's fine. It wasn't my wedding had an arcade. I gave out weed to everyone at the wedding in their welcome package, and Edward Norton threw up at my wedding.
I'm thinking 3 must be the lie. It must be he threw up afterwards or something.
I'm thinking if I Google it, it'll be like Seth Rogen and Ed Norton hate each other, and they've never been in the same room. I'll go with number 2.
No, that one's true. It is. Edward Norton threw up after at the party. I think at the hotel.
Rabbi Sharon, wedding.
Yes.
One of the first weddings I officiated, right after the groom stepped on the glass, I said, Mazel Tov, and the groom lunged forward and planted a big, sweaty, wet kiss right on my right cheek, off my lips. And his new wife burst into tears and shouted into the hot mic, "You're supposed to kiss me, not the rabbi."
That's a wild mistake.
Number 2, my parents promised us that our wedding would be vegetarian. About 7 years after our wedding, we were sitting at Shabbos dinner with a bunch of friends when Mark Wolf says, hands down, the best food at any wedding was the carving station at Sharon and Dave's. Several friends kick him under the table. And I choke on my vegan kugel and say, what did you say? And then he admits to us that during Yichud, which we were in for a very long time when the bride and groom have a little bit of privacy right after the chuppah, there was apparently an actual carving station at my wedding, and my parents told everyone to keep it a secret, which 270 people did for 7 years. Okay, so me at the wedding. And number 3, the absolute highlight of my big fat Jewish wedding was when my parents surprised us by inviting the Columbia Glee Club to do a full set, which lasted somewhere between 45 minutes and 4 hours, depending on how you count, of fight songs and school spirit. And it was absolutely everything I had ever dreamed of.
What's the 2-word recap? Say it again.
I can say the first one.
Okay,
Wait,
kiss you by accident.
The meet at the wedding and the Glee Club, my greatest dream come true.
I don't want the Glee Club. I want that to be a lie.
Really?
Me too, man. Me too.
Oh, no.
I was going first one.
No, the kiss happened.
Whoa.
The kiss happened, and the Glee Club actually, the Glee Club happened, but it was not my greatest dream come true. So that's technically the lie. So.
Wait, was the carving station was true?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. As far as we can tell.
I feel like I'm winning. All right, anti-Semitism. Let's do it.
Let's do this. All right, who wants to go first? These are real tweets, 2 true and 1 lie of a tweet that was tweeted at us publicly hating on public Jews.
You go first, Rabbi Sharon. This feels like you should go first.
At Sharon Brous, how dare you call yourself a quote-unquote rabbi? I'd like to airlift you into Gaza and drop you into the center of town where your Palestinian lovers can have their way with you. You are a disgrace to the Jewish people. Okay, that's fine.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I'm laughing.
This is why they have therapy for us. Okay, number 2. Rabbi Brous, how dare you claim that Jesus should be boiled in pig excrement? You're nothing more than a hook-nosed C-word who smokes mediocre weed. Okay, and number 3, at Sharon Brous, how dare you call yourself a mother? You don't even know how to cook dinner without burning the pasta. At Eva. What do you think?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I'm going to guess the third one.
She would never be on Twitter. She's a teenager. You got it.
All right, I'm gonna go next because I feel like Seth, you probably have, I think the best anti-Semitic tweet. So I'll go next.
I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go too. I didn't want to go too deep.
Okay. So also, if we don't laugh, we'll cry.
Yeah, exactly.
Here are my three, and there are worse ones. I didn't know C word could be said. My C word one.
Save it for the adult one.
Okay. I'm never watching The Big Bang Theory because you're a Zionist. Hitler was right. That's number 2.
Oh,
and number 3, you and Seth Rogen are dirty, hook-nosed kike baby murderers.
That would be so specific, and in reaction to this.
Your choices are never watching The Big Bang Theory, I'm a Zionist, Hitler was right, and you and Seth Rogen, dirty Jew, hook-nosed kike baby murderers.
Is that one real?
I'm guessing number 3 is based on a true tweet, but not actually exactly a true tweet.
Why you gotta be so serious? Okay, fine. It was just about me, not me and Seth Rogen.
I knew
but
it.
I'm almost 100% sure that person sent you the same one.
Exactly. I know. I was saying, I would have noticed if we were tagged together in one.
Great, Seth. It's all you. Let's close it.
Okay. One is... Okay, number 1. You're ugly for a Jew. Number 2, burn Jew. And number 3, Seth Rogen, Jew fro face ass hoe. So first is you're ugly for a Jew. Second, just the words burn Jew with my name added. And then the third is Seth Rogen, Jew fro face ass hoe.
I've gotten number 2, so I'm gonna go with number 1.
I'm gonna have to go with number 1 too, and I'm so sorry, Seth. People are.
No, the truth is that it was burn Jew. I have not gotten a burn. I've gotten variations of, but I've not gotten a burn.
Okay, I'll retweet it for you.
Yeah, exactly. But Seth Rogen, Jew fro face ass hoe. I get that a lot. I get that every few days. No, just once, but it was a good one.
Thank you both. This is great, Seth. It was really an honor to be here. Thank you for supporting IKAR. Thank you, Rabbi Sharon. I'm still here. I'm camera when you
All right, so we're going to transition